Hey Legocentrics, today we're going to be running through a little bit of a minifigure mystery. It's in regards to set 75383, the Sith Infiltrator. Now, for those of you that have been living under a rock, for the last couple of months there has been a lot of buzz in regards to the Qui-Gon Jinn minifigure that's located in that set. Now there's been a release of two different variants, and one is certainly a lot more valuable than the other one. So let's break it down and then we can show you which one it is. So what's the difference between the two of them? It's all pretty simple. In the early production runs, which is where all the rare minifigures are located, that minifigure has a reddish brown beard, whereas the much more common and cheaper version comes with just a standard brown beard. Now Lego must have realised their mistake, as in the movies, Qui-Gon Jinn has a brown beard with brown hair. Now to stay authentic to the character, they needed to swap it from the reddish brown that appeared in those early boxes to the standard brown that we see in today's version. But here's the big question. How do you actually know which version of Qui-Gon you get before opening the box? The key to this is located in the production code that's printed on the packaging. Now, I don't actually have the Sith Infiltrator set as part of my collection, so let's take a look at one of my other sets that I've got here, and I can show you where those differences lie in the production codes and really work out which one is the more valuable set. Now, the production code is normally located either on the bottom, as you can see here in the top right hand corner, or sometimes on the side of the box. Now, these numbers here, the ones down the bottom there, are irrelevant in regards to this, but it's that top row of numbers that we're looking. So as you can see with this set, it starts with a 5, and that represents the day of the week that it was manufactured. See the next two numbers, 3, 9. This represents that this set was made in the 39th week of the year. The letter G there is just in regards to the factory in which it was produced. And the last digit there was the year in which it was manufactured. So this one was manufactured in 2022. So it's one thing understanding the production runs and how those codes work, but it's a whole nother kettle of fish working out where it is on that production run and for how long those rare minifigures are available for. Now, luckily for us, the internet's been going crazy on this one for a couple of months, and we've got a little bit of data to work off of, which kind of identifies a rough range on how we can locate them. So let's take a look at how that works. So as you can see from this chart, the reddish-brown Qui-Gon Jinn minifigures were only available for roughly the first 11 weeks of production, and all other sets produced after this date have been updated to the cheaper minifigs. So you need to be keeping an eye out for the second and third digits of the production code. If any of those numbers start from 0, 1 or go up to 11, then there's a very good chance that the rare minifigure will be located inside. So what do you guys think? Do you think this reddish-brown Qui-Gon Jinn minifigure will become a sought-after and valuable collector's item? What we do know is that right now there is value in that minifigure. The value of it in the open market sits at roughly around about $185 compared to the standard brown minifigure at roughly about $9. The other interesting part about this is that the Sith Infiltrator sets are actually selling at roughly about $70 US. So as you can see, just that value of that minifigure by itself really has allowed the set values to really explode, because if you've got one of those sets with the correct production numbers, you could easily be seeking $250, I would imagine, for it quite comfortably. We're even seeing some crazy prices out there in the marketplace with one of those rare Qui-Gon Jinn minifigures on sale at the moment for just under $700. So that's a huge gap that you're seeing there, and I guess the thing that we don't know right now is just how rare this minifigure actually is. Could we be sitting in a position where it truly is a rare item, and even at $700 you could see that price triple, quadruple over the next couple of years? There's a very real possibility of that. But I guess what there's also a possibility of is that maybe this minifigure isn't quite as rare as we thought it was. Maybe that production run in those early stages really pumped out some high numbers of sets, which means that the availability of that minifigure is much higher than we actually anticipate. So could we be in a position where you're investing in at $700? You know, we find out that the availability of the minifigure is far more common than what we thought it is, and that price actually plummets over time. You know, with the best scenario where you get your money back over the next 4 or 5 years instead. So there's a real unknown in this. I think for me, if I was to venture down that path of buying one of these minifigures, I'd probably be a lot more comfortable purchasing it at roughly around about that market price at around about $200 US. I think at that price, it's a pretty safe bet. You know, it's still going to be rare enough for you to get value increase on that one. But in the short term, yeah, I guess we're going to have to wait and see and find out just how rare this Qui-Gon Jinn minifigure actually is. So let me know your thoughts on it, though, in the comments section. If you've got any further information to add to this that I've missed out, I'd be really interested to find out on it. Like and subscribe to the video. Hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with any new information and videos. I'll definitely be keeping everybody posted if I get any new info on it for sure.